Did you guys hear that? Zoom, I guess.
Yes.
It's going to start telling us we're being recorded. Okay. So I did a 13-hour drive yesterday from Alabama back to Virginia, and we're home. And I get a partner, which is kind of fun. Barry's going to do yoga with us. But we are just going to start on our backs and move today. And it will be pretty fluid. And I don't know. I need to recover from sitting in the car for so long. So just lay on your back and let your arms go in a place that's comfortable. Let your feet go as wide as your mat and just start finding some windshield wipers there. Letting your pelvis rock from side to side as your knees sway. And it doesn't even have to be big, it can be little rocks. Feel the connection of your rib cage with the floor. Feel the back of your head on the floor. And even feel your feet. Notice just rocking on your heels to the outer edge of your foot. Just bring some awareness there and feel the texture of your mat. Just kind of waking up all of our cells as we move. I like to have my eyes closed for things like this, so I'm really just feeling my body from the inside out. And next time your knees come over to the right, just lay on your right side and be as long as possible. Rest your head on your right arm. Let that right arm go long. You can use your left hand in front of you and just find a little bit of a massage on that right side by rocking forward and back in just a really tiny, small way. Bring some awareness to the outer edge of your right foot, your ankle, your outer calf, your knee, your thigh, your hip. Notice where your body feels the most weight because of your shape. Your rib cage on the floor, your outer armpit. You can even rock a little bit with your arm and twist your wrist. And then let yourself get still there and lengthen your left leg behind you and reach your left arm in front of you. So you're one long diagonal line from your left toes to your right fingertips. I think we've done this month. But just feel that length. And then you can soften through your left knee. Bring that left leg in front of you to a diagonal and open your left arm out to the left. And you can roll onto the back of your head off of that right arm. And now just rock back and forth here with this twist. And you can reach your toes and your fingers in different places. Kind of find a different target each time. You roll back and forth. So feel that connection of the right side of your body with the floor, but then also feel that length from your left fingertips to your left toes. And the next time your left arm goes back and your left leg goes forward, you can pause in that twist for a breath, and then we'll just roll all the way onto our backs again. Set your feet up like you would for a bridge. And push into your feet, and we'll work one vertebrae at a time. Really push your lower back down. Lift your tailbone, your sacrum, one vertebrae at a time. See how slowly you can come up mindfully. So you come up into your bridge. Pause there, and then keep your tailbone high as you start to lower your thoracic vertebrae, your rib cage, and your mid back, Use your belly strength to bring that low back down one at a time. And then your pelvis. And now just float your feet up off the floor and have your knees bent and stir your knees in circles. Try to keep your upper body pretty still. And your circles can be pretty small and switch directions. And then you can start to let them get bigger. Notice the strength that it takes to let your circles get bigger. Maybe go one direction and then the other a couple more times. And then you can bring your feet to the floor, lengthen your left arm, and then roll to your left side. And just find those little rocks. Just be long. Your left side of your head rests on that left upper arm. And just start with your awareness at your feet and feel that outer edge of your left foot rock. Notice how your ankle probably doesn't touch the floor. You can rock your outer calf, knee, your thigh, your hip, your waist. You can use your right hand in front of you to kind of help you with your rocking. You can feel the weight of your head on your arm as you kind of rock your head and kind of sandwich your arm between your head and the floor and just rock there. You can find some rocks through your wrists. Just kind of waking up all of that connective tissue on your whole side body. And we'll find those reaching twists, so get still. Reach your right toes behind you, right fingertips in front of you, and then just switch. Right leg comes forward, right arm back. So you're just kind of swimming back and forth and let it be fluid. Really think of the elasticity of all that connective tissue that kind of envelops all your muscles from your fingertips to those toes. And let yourself feel fluid as you move there. Next time your right arm comes out and you're in your twist, you can pause in that twist. And then roll onto your back. Reach your fingers up toward the ceiling, then interlace your hands, and we'll do our kind of pumping bridge. Push into your heels. Lift your hips, open your palms, and just bring your hands toward your heart. And then drop your pelvis back down to the floor and reach your knuckles back up toward the ceiling. Really spread between your shoulder blades. Just move back and forth there with your breath. With that movement through your shoulders. And let it kind of feel like a massage there for that space, your rhomboids between your shoulder blades. And not too much strain in your lower back. Really think about lengthening out your lower back as you lift. Tailbone going the same direction as your knees. Let's just do one more there. And then release your arms to the floor just alongside your hips. Float your feet up off the floor again. And maybe this time have your knees a little straighter. So maybe 90 degrees, maybe a little more, and find your circles again. So you're getting into a little bit of a twist, but it takes some strength through that center to let your circles get maybe bigger with straighter legs. Rock around on your pelvis, and they can be small little circles. You can think of making them bigger and having even straighter legs. Make sure you're even. So go both directions. Let yourself switch when it feels like it's time. You feel like you're evened out both ways. We'll just roll to a table. You can cross your ankles and roll forward. You could roll to your side. Just make your way into a table. Take your right arm out to the right. Big breath in, and then just thread it underneath. Find a twisted child here. Keep your bum high. And you can creep your left fingertips toward the head of your mat and then maybe over to the right. And think about taking your left hip back as you reach those left fingertips long. Breathe into your right shoulder blade, that space behind your right shoulder blade. And this right arm, you could have palm face up, palm face down, and find the line of tension that feels interesting. And then slide your left hand back in front of your face. Use your arm strength to come back up. And we'll just switch sides. So left arm out. Thread it underneath. Find your twist here and then creep those right fingertips long and then maybe over to the left. And just think about lengthening that from your pinky fingernail to your right outer hip. And your gaze is just wherever feels good for your neck. Your left hand can be palm face down, palm face up. Breathe into that right side. And those long spaces between your ribs. Right hand in front of your face. Use your arm strength to come up. Reach your right leg back and just find a couple of circles with that right hip. So knee towards your armpit, into your chest, heel to ceiling. Do 3 that direction, trying to keep your pelvis as level as possible. And then switch. So knee out to the side, and then you'll internally rotate that femur bone to bring your heel to the ceiling. Lengthen out through that leg, and then step your right foot outside of your hands. You can come up on fingertips and just play with your low lunge. You can stir your hips in circles. And play with bending and straightening that leg. Just kind of getting friendly with your body here. My hamstrings are tight from sitting all day yesterday. All right, next time your knee is bent, push down into your right foot and your left shin and draw up through your lower belly and let your hands just float up off the floor and then gradually just roll yourself upright. You can reach your arms high and then bend your elbows into a cactus. Let your heart open here and then dive your arms forward and let your upper back round. And you can tuck your chin. We're just going to kind of make a circle here. So open back up into your cactus and then dive your arms forward. And then find a little bit of engagement through that left glute as you reach forward. So you're opening through the front of this left hip and also between your shoulder blades. And just do that a few more times on your own. Finding that circle. And next time, reach your arms high. Drop your right hand alongside your right hip and just find a side bend over to your right. Find that a little bit of engagement through your left glute as you lengthen through that left side body. And then bring your left hand to your outer right knee and just reach your right arm back and find a big open twist here. Unwind your twist. And then maybe slide back a little bit so your knees are both bent at 90 degrees. You're a little bit deeper. And just lift your right heel. And then maybe lift your right toes. Barry's alarm's going off. It's telling him to wake up. And find your balance. And then step that right foot directly in front of your left knee for your tandem kneel. And just find your balance here, like you're on a slack line or a balance beam or a tightrope. And just notice what needs to hold you there. And some days are better than others. You got it, yeah. Just find your tightrope. And then we'll pivot on our left knee and turn and open to the left. So your right heel is in line with that left knee. And then find kind of a side angle pose here, but then bend deeply into your right knee and ankle. Then you can just swim your arm around. So we'll find some big arm circles here. Get into your shoulder and feel that inner thigh. Play with your ankle flexion. You can even think of, as we bend that knee, drawing your toes up toward your knee and then pushing the floor away with your foot. Maybe your fingers reach down a little lower. Let it be fluid, right? And use your whole body as you're reaching. Let's just do one more there. Hold in your side bend, and then we'll swim our left hand down to the floor. And now set yourself up so you're in a table, but you've got this 90-degree bend in your right leg. Okay, reach your right arm up, and then just thread it past your left ribs and find a twist there. And think about pushing your right knee back toward the back wall. So kind of bringing some weight into the pinky edge of that foot. Externally rotate through this left upper arm, your shoulder. And take one more big open with that right arm, and then bring your right hand down. Turn your right toes to face the same direction as your fingers and lengthen that leg out. And then find some cat and cow movement here. So lift your sitting bones, lift your collarbones and your gaze, and then tuck your tailbone, flex through your spine. You can tuck your chin. Really think about sending your inner groin back as you lift your sitting bones. And feel that length, that inner line of your right leg. Let's do one more there. And then find a neutral spine and rock your heart forward of your fingertips, and then bend your elbows maybe 2 inches. Come back up, and then left hip toward your left heel, any amount. And then just rock back and forth there. If this starts getting too much for your knee, you can always grab a blanket and pad your knee. How are you doing, Barry, on that? Okay. So you'll rock forward, find your little chaturanga, and then push back for that inner thigh stretch. The next time your hip comes back, just pause there for a breath. And then walk your hands toward that left knee. Come upright. Right hand comes onto your right thigh. Lift that left arm up and over. Find your side bend here. Really think about lengthening through that left side body. And then cartwheel your left fingertips or hands to the floor. Reach your right arm up. Draw your shoulder blades together. Find some engagement through that left glute. So you're long through the front of that left hip. And then maybe float your right leg up. You can point your toes, maybe write your name in cursive with that leg. And then you could play with bending your knee, maybe reaching back with your hand for your foot, pushing your foot into your hand, and then lengthening everything back out. And now we're in a table on the other side. And just bring your hands to the floor. And this time, start with your left side. Bring your left hand behind your head, and then open up into a lift that elbow, and then just twist your elbow to elbow. And just do 3 or 4 there. but really isolating this twist into your thoracic spine, your rib cage spine. And release that hand down. Just switch sides. Right hand behind your head. Open up and then twist down. That's 3 or 4. And then hands down, lengthen your left leg behind you, and we'll find those hip circles there. So keep your pelvis as level as possible. Bring your left knee out to the left, up towards your armpit, into your chest, heel to ceiling. And move slow and controlled. And we'll do 3 in each direction. You could imagine I have a stack of blocks alongside of your right thigh, and you can't knock it over. So when you switch knee into chest, knee out to the side, and then heel to ceiling. And then take your left foot, step it outside of your fingers, your hands, and find your movement in your lunge here. You guys just have a bum shot. Sorry about that. You can bend and straighten that knee, find circles in your hips. Really, this is an exploration of your hamstrings, your hips, your calves, your ankles, and just getting friendly with all of it. I'm just remembering that you're made of water, so you can move fluidly. Next time your knee's bent, push into your right shin and your left foot. Okay, and draw your lower belly in as you just float your hands up off the floor. And then gradually stack your spine up one vertebrae at a time. You can reach your arms high and then find that cactus again. Open through your heart and then swim your arms forward, tuck your chin around your spine. And just find those swimming circles there. Connect it with your breath. But again, it's a fluid swimming here as you floss through your upper back and feel that engagement through your core. Open into your cactus, reach your arms high, and then drop your left hand alongside your hip and just find your side bend over to your left. So you're long. You can find a little bit of engagement through your right glute. And then bring your right hand outside your left knee. Reach your left arm back. Just find a big open twist there. Unwind yourself. Back out of your lunge a little bit if you need to. So you're really solidly over that right shin and knee. And then lift your left heel. And then float your toes up off the floor. Find your balance. And then bring your left foot, plant it down right in line with your right knee. And just find your balance there. And take another breath. And notice what happens if you push into your left big toe and then push your tongue to the roof of your mouth. That deep core line may help you feel a little more stable. Pivot on your right knee. So now your left heel is in line with that right knee. You've got a 90-degree angle here. We'll find our side bend and then sweep that arm into circle. So really play with that range of motion through your shoulder and flex deeply into your knee and your ankle. And you can feel like you're pulling yourself into your side bend with your heel, maybe lifting your toes towards your knee and then pushing the floor away. And feel that fluid elasticity of all the connective tissue in your body. It's telling me my internet connection's unstable. Hold your side bend. And then draw that right hand toward the floor, and you'll find your table here with your hands on the floor and your legs still in the same configuration. Reach your left arm out and then find your twist. Just reach past your right ribs. Just think of those spiral connections and feel the connection of your rib cage to that left inner thigh. Bring your left hand down and then turn your left toes forward, lengthen through that left leg. So you've got a long left leg, your toes are pointing the same direction as your hands, and your hands are like in a table, wrists under shoulders, and then find your cat and cow here. So lift your sitting bones, lift your collarbones and your gaze, and then tuck your tailbone and round. And really think about sending your inner thighs back as you let your belly drop. Take one more breath there. And then find a neutral spine. Rock your heart forward, bend your elbows. Push the floor away, and then right hip to your right heel. And just flow through those. So as you bend your elbows and lower, only go far enough where you feel like you have a lot of support and control, right? And your back can feel stable and supported. So let your front low ribs draw in. Don't stick your bum up and drop your belly as you lower. I think that feels about good. Hip to heel, walk your hands back towards your knee and then come upright, left hand to left thigh. Reach your right arm up and over and find Parigasana, gate pose. And then we'll cartwheel right fingertips or hand to the floor. I have short arms, so it's always feels better for me to have fingertips down. Draw your shoulder blades together and find some external rotation of that right upper arm. And then you can float left leg up, maybe point your toes, and then write your name in cursive there. Open your heart, maybe bend that knee, maybe reach for that foot. Draw your shoulder blades together. You can open through your throat. And release. Just bring that left hand back down, your back and table on the other side. Paw your hands out a little bit and just find that place, that U shape from your thumb to your pinky that feels like you get a lot of feedback and support. And then grab the floor, tuck your toes, and just have your knees up off the floor. And just feel your core there. Now send your inner thighs back. So think about pushing your inner thighs toward the wall behind you as you lift your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. You can pedal your feet out, and you can even play with pawing the floor here. And just shifting your weight from one foot to the other, one hand to the other. And then find a place where you're still. Let yourself feel some space for your neck. Come on to your tippy toes, look forward. Bend your knees and take a walk up to the top of your mat. Find your feet parallel and about hip distance apart. Soften your knees and just let yourself fold. And you can sway a little bit from side to side. And then bend your knees. We'll roll ourselves up one vertebrae at a time. So first think about pointing your sitting bones toward your heels to start letting your pelvis come upright. And then stack your lower back vertebrae, mid back vertebrae, upper spine, and then your neck. Reach your arms high. Take a big breath in. And exhale. Lead with your heart to fold. Soften your knees and just hinge right at your hips as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left leg back into a lunge. And then exhale your left knee down. Reach your arms high. And then open into a twist. Left arm forward, right arm back. Bend your left elbow and hook it outside your right knee. And then bring your hands together. Tuck your back toes. And then lift that left knee. So now you're in a twisted high lunge. Lengthen from your left heel out through the crown of your head. And then we'll unwind ourselves and open up into a warrior two. Ground through that right heel. See if you can move through your pelvis a little bit. And then settle. Straighten through that right front leg and just bring your left arm forward. And then bend into that right knee and think about pushing your right knee to the right as you just sweep your arms back. And then come forward with a straight leg, bend your knee. So feel that spiral line. Kind of been playing with that in every plane as we twist back. Your hands won't stay level with each other. That's totally fine. But feel what's happening between your shoulder blades. Feel the relationship of your feet to your pelvis, and then of your rib cage to your pelvis. And next time, come forward and then just bend into that right knee. Find your warrior two. Reverse your warrior, big breath in. And then find side angle pose. Right forearm to right thigh. Enjoy your breath here. And feel that twisted spiral. So find some leverage of your right forearm into that right thigh. And then push into your right big toe, but engage your right glute underneath you. And then lengthen from that left outer foot out through your fingertips. Shoulders are out of your ears. And then let your heart rotate up toward the ceiling. Take a breath in. And then just bring your hands to the floor. Inside that right foot, you can lift your left heel and toe heel that right foot out to the right a little bit. And just rock forward and back. Use your block. You can use your fingertips. And then we'll bring our left shin to the floor. Kind of bring your knee between your hands. And then just step that right foot in and just play with that flexion of that right ankle. So think about lifting your right toes up and then pushing into your toes and lifting your heel. And you can bring some weight onto that thigh. And then bring your hands to the floor. Use your hands to frame your foot, and we'll come up into a standing split. So push into that right leg, lengthen everything up, reach through your left leg. And then bend your right knee and just tap your left knee to your right calf. And then lengthen out. And then bend and tap. Lengthen out. Last time, bend and tap. Lengthen out. And we'll find a twist here. So Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana. So let your left hip point toward the floor. Left fingertips are on the floor. And then you can reach your right arm straight out to the right or maybe up toward the ceiling. This is one of the most challenging poses for me to find balance. Take a breath and then unwind yourself. Step that left leg forward and just find a forward fold. You can sway from side to side. Let yourself feel kind of equal. And then we'll roll ourselves up, soften into your knees. Sitting bones point towards your heels to bring your pelvis upright. And then roll your spine. Reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back into a lunge. Exhale that right knee down. Inhale to reach yourself high. And then find a twist. Right arm forward, left arm back. Big open twist, and then hook that right elbow outside your left knee. And you can bring your hands together here. Tuck your back toes. And then lift that back knee. You're in a twisted high lunge here. We'll cartwheel ourselves open into our warrior two. So just unwind yourself, ground through your right heel, open out your arms. Find some movement in your pelvis and feel support from your feet. And then swim that right arm forward as you straighten your left leg. And then bend into your left knee, but really think of that left knee tracking over your left pinky toe. And there you can lengthen your stance more. You've got long legs. And just move there. Really think about moving from that space between your shoulder blades and finding that spiral. So think about pushing your knee into my hand as you reach back. And then we'll find our warrior two, just open, bend into that left knee. Inhale to reverse. And then find your side angle pose. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm alongside your ear. But feel that spiral engagement. So push into that left big toe ball mound. Find some engagement of that left glute and let yourself have some leverage of your left forearm. Into your left thigh and lengthen. Push into your right heel, lengthen out through your right fingertips, and then rotate your left ribs up toward the ceiling. Take a big breath in. And then just bring your hands to the floor. Inside of that left foot, you can toe heel your left foot out to the left. You can use your block under your hands here. Lift your right heel and just let yourself rock forward and back, finding some fluid length in the front of that right hip. And then we'll come into our little combat squat. So you'll bring your right shin to the floor in between your hands and just lean some weight onto that left foot. Really think about pulling your toes up toward your knee to find that dorsiflexion, and then push into your toes to lift your heel. Just play there. Squeaky spot in the floor. Oh yeah, the cat's meowing. We'll move into our standing split from here. So ground through that left foot, fingertips to the floor, and then lengthen yourself up. Reach that right leg long. And then bend both knees. You'll tap your right knee outside your left calf. And then lengthen back out. And these don't have to be big movements. You don't have to really lengthen that right leg too high. You can use your block on the floor or fingertips. Do one more, bend and tap, and then lengthen. Okay, so all 5 of your right toes are pointing to the floor. Come onto your right fingertips or right hand on a block, and then twist yourself open. Maybe left arm comes straight out to the left. Maybe you rotate open toward the ceiling. Enjoy your breath. And then soften, unwind. Step that right foot forward. And then just find kind of a wider stance, forward fold as you sway here. Bend into your knees, roll yourself up. Reach your arms high. Hands to heart. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left foot back into a lunge, and this time just stay high. Ground into your right foot and turn on your right glute. And then just float your hands up off the floor. Bring your hands alongside your hips. Feel really strong from that right heel to that right glute. Float your belly up off your thigh. Draw your shoulder blades together. And then come all the way up. Reach high and settle here. Push into that right heel, and we'll come to balance with the left knee into your chest. So you'll be standing on your right foot. So just slide that left leg up and pause. Just bring your hands to your hips. We'll take this left leg and just let it hover above the floor and let yourself swing. And let it be really fluid. It's just a pendulum. And feel the freedom in the front of your left hip. You can start to maybe bend your knee. You could get both of your arms in, maybe tap that left foot with your left hand. Just do one more round of breath there, and then just step wide. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Turn your toes out, heels in, and just sway a little from side to side as you bend your knees and come down into Malasana. So go as far as your heels will stay on the floor. So that may be low. It may be here. Go to where you feel like you have control to come all the way up. Push into your heels and then just stand up. Bring your feet back to about sitting bone distance apart. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back into your lunge and ground down through that left foot. Let yourself feel strong and really connect that left heel to the floor. Turn on your left glute and just float your hands back by your hips. Let yourself feel strong there, and then you can float your belly up off your thigh. Pause there, and then reach your arms high. Push down into your right big toe ball mound, and rotate your right inner thigh up toward the ceiling. Lift through your lower belly in a way that you're finding support, but you're not rigid, like you have plenty of space for that 360-degree breath. And then we'll bring our right knee into our chest to balance on your left foot. Hands to your hips. And then just let this right foot hover and hang and just swing like a pendulum. So really find that fluid space. You can let your arms swing with your leg. You can play with bending your knee and tapping your hand to your foot. Or, like the more natural way is to when your leg goes back, your arm goes forward, like Barry's doing. You're just playing with that spiral action through your body. And then we'll take a big step. Get ready for your squat again. But just let your knees bend and let your pelvis kind of sway from side to side. So you come into it in a fluid way and you feel that support. So our fascial system, it's kind of like, that oobleck stuff you make out of cornstarch and water? When it has pressure on it, it stiffens up. But then when you let go of the pressure, it's more fluid. You can kind of think of that. as how that feedback in your system happens. So we want to move with kind of a balance between that stiffness and the fluidity. Find a place where you feel supported, and then let your heart be open. See if you can push into your heels and come straight back up until heel your feet back to hip distance apart. Let's do that one more time. Same thing, pretty simple. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left foot back. Float your hands back by your hips. Feel that support as you come up. Reach high. And then left knee into your chest. And this time we'll find dancer pose. You can swing a little bit first. You can play with bending that knee, maybe reaching for your foot, maybe being still, maybe pushing your foot into your hand, and maybe even playing with coming in and out of it. When you're ready, release your feet, step wide, and find your squat again. And this time when you're down, if you want to play with crow pose, you can. But do it in the same kind of fluid way, thinking of like that pressure as creating support. You can snuggle your armpits in front of your knees, hands down like you would in chaturanga. Come onto your tippy toes and just rock your heart forward. So we did this earlier, and you could even just keep your toes on the floor and just play with rocking forward and back, feeling where your hands can hold you, and maybe floating toes up off the floor. We'll have one more chance to play. So find your squat, stand straight up. You can get out any shakes you need to. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Right foot back into your lunge. So find that support as you float your hands back. Push into that left heel to come on up. And then right knee into your chest. Find your balance. And then whatever you want to do with your arms, play with your swing. We'll make our way into that dancer. So hold your outer foot, but try to keep your knees tracking so that right knee is pointing down. And you could play with coming in and out of it. And play with your balance. Remember, you're fluid. So let it be an exploration. And then we'll release. Make your way to your squat. And you might want to play this time with feet together, coming down into your squat, onto your tippy toes and letting your knees go wide. And then planting your hands. And then just rocking weights. So your knees are really connected to those upper arms, but a lot of your strength's coming from drawing your belly in and up. As you rock and maybe float one set of toes up and then float the other set of toes up. But you think of hugging everything in toward the center. And then we'll make our way to a seat. When you're done playing with that, let your feet just kind of plant in front of you. Bring your hands behind you.
Point your fingers in a direction that feels good for your wrists, and we'll come into a reverse table. So you can even do it on fists. Draw your shoulder blades toward each other, and then just lift your hips. You can find a little bit of swaying from side to side if that feels good, but just stretching your shoulders in the other direction, opening through that front body, and then lower yourself down. Find your way to a cross-legged seat. You want your block or a blanket. And we'll just take our right foot into a baby cradle. And hold on to that outer right foot with your left hand. Outer right knee. And try not to sickle your ankle. See if you can find some activity in that right ankle. So you're kind of keeping knee and ankle in line with each other. And you're just letting your hip be free and fluid. So you can play. Maybe your shin comes closer in. Maybe you have the space to wrap, but none of it's necessary. You could even maybe hold on to ankle, but we're just enjoying that hip. We'll take our right foot and step it outside the left knee for a twist. You can always straighten out your left leg for your pelvis to be a little more level. Wrap your left arm around that right knee, twist to your right. And just breathe. Unwind yourself. And we'll stack right knee on top of left, whether your knee is bent or straight. I'm going to do it with my legs straight today. Lengthen your heart forward, and then just let yourself fold forward any amount. And take one more round of breath there. And then go ahead and come on up. Set your hands behind you, uncross your legs, and windshield wiper, knees from side to side. And then we'll find that reverse table again. So find a direction for your fingers that feels good. For your wrists, draw your shoulder blades together. And then lift your hips. Go ahead and release. And then find your right knee bent and just lift that left leg and rock your baby. Any way that works. You can hold ankle, but you're really just kind of playing with, you can even stir that knee in circles, but try to relax it as much as you can. After we've warmed things. Right, and if you can bring your baby close, right, pay attention to the integrity of your spine, or maybe just hook a wrist or elbow underneath your ankle. And then we'll find our twist. So plant your left foot outside of your right knee and wrap your right arm around that left knee and twist to your left. And let your breath kind of settle. So here, your belly's constricted, so that deep belly breath is not going to happen. But really think of that 360 degrees. Notice what parts of your rib cage can expand and how deep into your rib cage you can expand. Unwind yourself, and we'll stack left knee on top of right. I'm doing it with a straight leg today. Lengthen through your spine, and then lead with your heart to fold. And just use your breath to find space. Relax your face. Notice where you're holding tension. And see if you can let go of any unnecessary tension. And then go ahead and come on up. Lengthen both of your legs. You have a choice this time. Plant your hands behind you. You can keep your legs straight and come up into a reverse plank, or you can bend your knees again and come up into reverse table. Point your fingers in a direction that feels good for your wrists. Draw your shoulder blades together and then lift your hips. And then go ahead and come on down. Bend your knees, hold on to the backs of your thighs. And bring your bum to the center of your space. And try to come down one vertebrae at a time. So our hands can slide down your thighs. See if you can really control your descent down. Bring your heels towards your bum. Just one last bridge pose. You can think about coming with pushing your knees forward and really finding length through your front body. And then gently make your way down. Hug your knees into your chest, and this time use your arms to just steer your knees in circles. One direction and then the other. It's that little rocking massage that we started with. And then reach your arms out to a T. And drop your knees to the right and look to the left. Just easy twist. And just kind of notice how your spine feels in this twist now compared to the beginning. And come back to center and just switch sides. Knees to the left, gaze to the right. Back to center. Find something symmetrical to get yourself ready for Shavasana. So maybe that's just hugging straight knees into your chest. Maybe it's a happy baby pose. Get your spine kind of set up in a symmetrical way. And then lengthen yourself out into your final rest. Notice all the parts of you connected with the floor. And then push down into the floor with all your might. Push your heels down, push the back of your head down, push your arms down, push your shoulder blades down, push into the floor. Push, push, push. Don't hold your breath, but just push with all of your might. Push everything into the floor. Push, push, push. Completely let go. Let your breath just naturally come in and out without any effort on your part. We're always going from in that cycle of doing to being. That purposeful doing feels good, it's productive, it makes our bodies warm and strong. But we don't get any benefit unless we let our cells absorb it all. Really just let yourself be still.
Feel the quality of the energy in your body. Notice how aware you are, how alert and awake, how relaxed you can be at the same time as you just receive the fruits of your labor. Notice if any tensions crept into your face or your neck. You can relax there. Feel free to stay here for as long as you have time. If you need to stay in our 60 minutes, start to find your wiggles of fingers and toes. You can rock your head from side to side. Maybe reach your arms long above your head. Roll to your favorite side and just pause. And then use your arm strength to come all the way up to a comfortable seat. Thank you for doing yoga with me today. Thank you, friends. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, Jessica.